is. It's tough. A brother, playing the game with a brother, being able to start this NFL career and share so many memories and grow up as men with this organization. I really can't imagine taking the field without him. Something I don't know if it's completely hit me yet. Obviously, I've talked to him. I'm hurt. I'm sure he is, but it's more important for me just to be able to support him. I know he's got more opportunities coming his way, and love that guy. Proud of him. Number one supporter in here for him, no matter what.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great thirsty Thursday. Tomorrow is finally frickin' Friday, and a better and sad first week of free agency and 2 days into the NFL year. You know, I am one that believes champions are built in the off season. I really do. It's what you do. By the time training camp gets here, the die is pretty much cast. You know, we could look at it and say, the Eagles, from all the work that they did, and I'm going to say, the Eagles got lightning in a bottle. They were able to hit on just about everybody that they brought in. They literally had the perfect storm of players to work out for them. You just don't see that happen very often. But they sowed the seeds of, we're going to get this thing done from day one of the offseason. They had the bad taste of losing to losing to Tampa Bay and Tom Brady, and they said, we're going to look at the problems we have and we're going to fix them. And that's what the Cowboys, I hope, I'm hoping that this isn't all just bullshit and smoke and mirrors and things, that we find out that Stephon Gilmore is really past his prime and he's going to end up being a bust or something. What I'm hoping with Stephon Gilmore is Stephon Gilmore ends up being like Malik Hooker was for us. Malik Hooker, when we signed him, people looked at him and like, yeah, he's coming off of Achilles, I believe, and he's not that good, but Malik Hooker has been great. And the Cowboys have done well when they've gone out to get people. Believe it or not, the Cowboys have actually done really well in free agency. The problem is they just don't do enough. I mean, you can look at guys that have been very, very productive and that have been guys that were, nobody thought about. Donovan Wilson, Jaron Kearse, Malik Hooker. Those guys have been fantastic. Of course, they've done well at the draft. The thing about the Cowboys is they get the role players. They get the fill-in guys. They do so well with that. They end up drafting some studs and some great players most of the time. Now, there are years where, you have just a bad draft that guys just don't pan out. That happens to everybody. But it happens less to the Cowboys than most teams. I mean, you can look at the Eagles and say they can't draft well in the first round. The last 10 years for them has not been great in the first round. But the thing about the Eagles that's different than the Cowboys is they have no problem admitting that they screwed the pooch and have no problem moving on from a player and saying, we screwed up, but let's fix it. Usually, we don't do that. Usually, they'll blame somebody else, or they'll hold on to a player for too long. They won't admit that they screwed up and try and move on. They will give you more bullshit than anything else. And that's what happened last year with Amari Cooper. They screwed up, flat out. They don't want to admit it. They'll still tell you that we're proud of the things we did with the money. Okay, well, maybe you did some good things with money, but it wasn't as good as having a receiver who had a little more experience than Noah Brown. But be that as it may. Zeke Elliott, at first was Zeke. And let's be clear here. Zeke is the ultimate teammate. Zeke sacrificed his body and everything for the Dallas game. He left everything on the field. He played with a tore PCL. He was doing things that you probably couldn't get out of the bed or be whining like a little biatch, but continued to plow on. And the thing that's funny, it's not even funny. I shouldn't say it's funny. The thing that's crazy is just because you're not listed on the injury report doesn't mean that you're not in pain, that you're not hurting. A football player will be damn near dead before they'll say enough. Between the painkillers like the Tanadol and the shots and all that stuff, between the ice whirlpools and the hot whirlpools and all the stuff that they do just so they can play, it's not normal. And I can guarantee you Zeke is one of those guys that did everything to make sure he stayed on the field. And we turn around and tell all these guys, he's bummed, he's old, he's overpaid, and this, that, and the other. I ain't mad about Zeke Elliott getting paid. You got to get what you can while you can. And as they say, never count another man's money. But the Cowboys are the one to blame on that contract. And they are the ones to blame on quite a few of these contracts because of the way they do business. They always want to act like they're the smartest guys in the room, and they're trying to tell you that we know how to negotiate and stuff. And it reminds me of Lefty Driesell. Lefty Driesell, who said, "Don't tell me I don't know how to coach." Well, you were okay. You were okay, but I don't know that you were great. Letting Zeke go from when Jerry was like, you know, Zeke is a cornerstone of this this franchise, and we love Zeke, and you know we're okay with the contract. Maybe we'll do a little something. And then it was just like, Cowboys aren't admitting their mistake of overpaying Zeke. I wish Zeke did not have to go. I wish Zeke could still run like he did a few years ago. But the reality is, he couldn't any longer. And you have to be able to justify the money that you spend. And unfortunately now, as we see, the market for running backs, it's terrible. It is awful. Running back has been so devalued, it's not even crazy. The market is cratered. I'm not sure that the franchise tag price doesn't go down. And I hate to say this, but I think what we're going to find out, or Zeke's going to find out, there's not a market. There's not a market for big money. And I think that's going to be a harsh reality to face. Now, I don't know if the Cowboys will look at that and say, well, Zeke, you know, you're only getting the veteran minimum. Bring him back, but here's the problem. You're already spending $11 million to get rid of him. You're going to put another 2 on top of it? I don't know. Now, I want to say that the deal that Tyron Smith did, now, let's be clear. We all believe that the Cowboys are making calls about receivers, okay? You know, Judy, they want too much, okay? They want a number one. I don't know if that's what they'll settle for, but the problem is if they're asking for a number one, you look at our number 2, which is in the second half of the number 2, it's closer to a 3. I doubt they'll do it. They might take a high number 2 from another team, but I don't think they're going to do that. And I'm not sure that Judy is as good as we think. Odell, allegedly, there is no price that's been put out there. We've heard $20 million and stuff. I don't know if he'd settle for a $13 or $14 million deal. But if you can do a deal that is incentive laden, and you know, we hear people are interested and so on, but if they were really interested and said, I got to have that guy, he would be signed. You see how quickly the premier players have been snatched up. And the longer it goes, then the less that price seems to be. And maybe the Cowboys say, hey, we'll get you a $20 million contract, but that contract is you play 17-game season, you're a 1,000-yard receiver or a Pro Bowler, and we get to the Super Bowl. You do that, hey, you got your 20. If not, like Tyron Smith, it de-escalates or it escalates as the team achieves. I don't know if he'd be happy with that, but at least it covers the Cowboys' back. The more I think about it, the more I think I would actually be happy if the Cowboys traded a second or a third and got Hopkins. I think Hopkins, who wasn't coming off an ACL where he couldn't play all last year, Hopkins, who for the most part throughout most of his career has been injury-free. Hopkins, who I think at this point just wants to win, might be one of those guys that say, you know what, I want to have a chance to win. And I'm looking at this team where you've got now a great defense, you got a really good quarterback, you got another good receiver on the other side, and now you got Mike McCarthy going to that West Coast offense. That maybe he would take a better deal to come here. He made plenty of money with the Cardinals. But cementing your legacy, that's a different story. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We'll have to keep on watching and listening. We've heard Kansas City's interested in Odell. We've heard that the Ravens are. We know originally Buffalo was, but it seems like, they've kind of calmed down a little bit on that one. We heard the Giants are, of course, wanting to bring him back and stuff. But money talks and BS walks. So far, ain't nothing happened. And I think that the market isn't as hot for him as they're making it seem. Just do. But that's me. I am personally going to be doing something a little different this week. Going to be going to Waynesboro tomorrow for the weekend and actually working on the red brick house. I'm really trying to push this as hard as possible to try and get it done and get my final inspections by the end of May. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of time. That's a couple months. And with us doing a road trip to the draft, that's basically taking a week out of that apple. So, if you want to do certain things, you got to spend the time to do it. And then you got to make up the time that you have for other things. So that's what I'll be doing. And my good buddy Jet's going to be coming over this weekend and helping. And Michael will be coming back down to keep on working. So hopefully, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll be able to get a lot of work and stuff done. It was actually kind of cool yesterday. I was able to get content and stuff up to keep you guys in the loop of everything that was happening with the Cowboys. And we'll continue to do just that. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being part of the channel. I am so blessed and thankful. It was, I want to say around December 15th or December 20th that I hit 50,000 subscribers, which is amazing to me. Amazing. The crazy thing is, today, March 16th, I hit 55,000. 5,000 more subscribers, 5,000 of you guys, basically since Christmas. That's one hell of a way to start the year off. And I appreciate you guys. And so with that being said, I am going to go ahead and get my butt to bed, try and get up about 5:30 so I can hit the road early, get down there, get a lot of work done. And then, of course, tomorrow night we got our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. I hope I see you guys there. But remember to tell the people you love you love them, because you might not get the chance again. And I love you guys. And God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe out there. Peace.